Hello guys, how are you doing? Another guide, second time already. The first guide, you guys loved it, so let's go for a second one, this time around with the Pantheon support. And first of all, I want to thank all the supporters, 25 supporters already, all the members that joined the group, the MetaFi group. And yeah, if you are looking to improve at League of Legends or get some type of coaching or introduced to coaching, check the MetaFi group in the description. You have the link. And if you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord server and ask me anything. You can even add me on Discord and we can talk. So yeah, now let's talk about Pantheon support, okay? So I love this champion. It's one of my favorite supports. I mean, I'm in love with Taric. Taric is my OTP, but also Pantheon, Targon, no? Maybe there's some lore things going on. But a couple of years ago, Pantheon was really popular in the support role because he had this E that could block turret shots, but it got removed because it was really overpowered. It was picked or banned all the time, and the presence of Pantheon dropped a lot. So I didn't kind of pick him up during my climb from Platinum to Master, but I was happy with having Pike in my champion pool. I was happy to have it like Leon and Nautilus, but I lacked a bit of action. No, Pantheon is a champion that deals a lot of damage. He can roam. You can do 1v2 in lanes. You can even 1v1 the enemy jungler most of the times with Ignite up. You can buy a lot of time with the E. You can be really creative with the ultimate, right? It's a champion that I'm in love. So I said, okay, I pick him up around Diamond 3 Elo. And from there, I won, like as you guys can see in the image, 6 games in a row. And I was really happy with how the champion was performing in solo queue. And I said, oh, it's not a bad champion at all to play. There are some things that you need to take into consideration before playing Pantheon support. I see a lot of Pantheon players when in support role. Sometimes I face some Pantheons and they really don't know what they are doing or how to play the champion well. So that's why I'm making this guide, because it's not the easiest champion to play in bot lane. And yeah, I wanted to share that with all of you. I know that it's not the most popular champion in the support role. I will make more guides about other popular champions so you guys can also check them out. But I know also that you guys love off-meta champions. You like to have some fun in the bot lane also. He roams, he does a lot of damage, right? He has like very high playmaking potential and creativity. So to play him a couple of games, try him out. After watching this guide, you will be an expert. So yeah, I took inspiration from 2 Korean players, 2 professional players. The first one is Delight. He is rank 6 in the solo queue ladder. He has like, he's very high elo, right? 1700 LPs. He plays a couple of Pantheon games, right? The last couple of weeks. It means a lot because of course he's playing in challengers, so he needs to pick the best champions to perform, and he's able to do it. So I learned from him a lot of the things that we are going to see today. So that's really nice. And also from Missing. He's a Chinese support. He plays in the LPL, but this is in the Korean server. And he also has played a couple of games of Pantheon. As I said, Pantheon is not really popular, but already 2 professional players playing Pantheon, especially in high elo in Korea, and performing on the champion means that it's a viable champion to play. You just need to know how to perform on him and what you can do to carry, right? So we are going to talk about the build, the runes. I mean, the runes first, then the build. And I will add combos and what combos, how to play Pantheon combo-wise. And then laning phase, mid-game, some extra tips in-game, and you will see from my POV and I will explain. All right, so let's jump into it. All right, let's go with the runes. Okay, from the sky they are called. That's from the sky he falls, Pantheon, right? With the ultimate. That's how I like to call it. All right, so this is my rune setup for Pantheon. Most of the times I rarely change it, but we are going to go into each runes and talk about the different possibilities that you might have. So first of all, Conqueror into PTA. You can choose one of them, but I prefer Conqueror way better. You get it really fast with the W, Empower W. With the E, you get it, you charge it really fast as well. And then PTA is the common mistakes that a lot of new Pantheon support players do, because they think, okay, my Empower W is going to proc the PTA instant, yes, but right now with Lethal Tempo out of existence, a lot of AD carries go PTA as the first option, especially winning lanes go PTA. So you want to go for that Conqueror setup. And also Conqueror gives you a lot of AD, gives you the healing after. Also how you want to play the laning phase with the poking Q. So Pantheon is like a poke champion, and we are going to explain that in a bit, right? You want to poke, and then go for the all-in. So Conqueror feels much better. Going PTA, yes, you can go for it if you are playing with a mage that, like, say, Swain, Ziggs, maybe Syndra in bot lane. Maybe it's a bit rare. And you are going to all-in, or maybe a Jhin, for example. Jhin probably go fleet, and he is not going to go PTA. And you have like all-in potential, then I would say PTA is fine, and also against squishy teams. But most of the times, 95% or 90% of the time, I will go Conqueror. I really don't like the PTA's playstyle. I think Conqueror is way better for Pantheon, so I will stick to that. So for these ones, Presence of Mind or Triumph is the two choices that you have. As I said, you want to poke in lane with Pantheon, so most of the time you want to go Presence of Mind. But I understand if you are going Triumph, it's also pretty fine, okay? But how you play laning phase, we will see in a bit. You want to spam the Qs, like tap Qs, and Presence of Mind works really, really good for that, for your if you have mana issues, right? Then attack speed or ability haste, any of those two are fine. For me, I like better the attack speed because you get your passive faster, right? You can follow with the auto attacks, but probably if you cannot have extended fights, like let's say you cannot auto attack too much in fights, then I will get ability haste. And if you are able to stick to the enemy champions, let's say it's like more melee champions in enemy team, then I will go for attack speed. Then in the last row, this one is really good with Pantheon because it does a lot of damage this extra damage when enemies are low. Your Q does more damage when enemies are low, especially with the empowered one, right? So this one feels really good, coup de grace. And then cut down or last stand, right? Last stand is also a viable choice, but we are going to talk about lethality build and bruiser build. So last stand with Thunder Sky, Black Cleaver looks fine because you are going to have those extended fights, you're going to be low HP, you're going to heal up. So last stand can be okay. So for example, the Chinese support Missing likes to play it with last stand and Triumph, right? He goes also more bruiser build. We are going to talk about both of them. But for me, I would go for this setup if I was playing lethality, and I would go for this setup probably if I'm playing the bruiser build. So you have those two options. And then for secondary, domination is perfect for Pantheon, okay? So Zombie Ward, I love it in solo queue because I'm a vision freak. I want to get rid of every ward, and every time I get rid of one, I have vision for my team. So that means if I use properly my sweeper and I get Amber Glaive, I'm able to get a lot for my team, deny a lot of vision. So Relentless Hunter, 100%. So from two choices, Relentless Hunter, for sure, you get it. I know that some people will get Treasure Hunter, Ultimate Hunter. They are okay, but it's nothing compared to Relentless Hunter. You want to roam to mid lane, you want to roam to top, you want to chase down people, engage faster, right? You want to get close to your targets. So Relentless Hunter is a must, in my opinion. From these two, Sudden Impact or Zombie Ward, I would choose Sudden Impact because of your W, right? You go for, you dash with the W and you do extra damage. But if you go Sudden Impact, then you are going for the Bruiser build. Why? Because if you go Zombie Ward, you are going to go Lethality build because you are going to get the Amber Glaive and you are going to use better the Zombie Ward. So if you go Sudden Impact, then I will go Triumph and I'm going Last Stand, and then I'm playing the Thunder Sky Black Cleaver build. And if not, I'm playing the Presence of Mind with Coup de Grace and Zombie Ward and Relentless Hunter, and I'm playing Amber Glaive, probably Eclipse, and then some other lethality items that can help you. That's for the domination tree. Also, what I've seen is you could go Inspiration, you could go the Biscuit and the Cosmic Insight. This is also fine, extra sustaining lane, just general more supportive. as well for yourself. Like you have maybe you can add the CDR boots with the Cosmic Insight, so you have flash faster. You can also, I've seen also like going hashtag like oh, hex flash. I didn't know. I saw hashtag flash trap. I don't know how even to pronounce that. It's hex flash, right? And Cosmic Insight, it also works because you can do a lot of playmaking and being creative. And also Resolve, you can go bonnet plating, harder matchups. Maybe you want to go Overgrowth, or yeah, I would go Overgrowth here, or maybe Demolish. But as I said, in solo queue, guys, just go Zombie Ward, Relentless Hunter if you want to play Lethality, and Sudden Impact and Relentless Hunter if you're going to play a more Bruiser build, okay? To not make it too long. Double Adaptive for sure, and Health, okay? Guys, if you play support, scaling health, forget about it. Level 7, yes, is better, but I want you guys to play the laning phase. I want you guys to be present in laning phase, be able to roam, be able to do something more. Just get the flat HP and start fighting, start dominating your lane. Right? Let's go for the build. So, support item and 2 potions and sweeper. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I would say I would go sweeper level 1. I will show you later how to play early game with the sweeper. But now let's stick to the build, right? Let me get rid of the potions. Let's talk about the boots. So Swifties are the best for Pantheon. So rushing Swifties, it's insanely good for Pantheon because it gives you a lot of move speed. We said that we like the move speed already with the rune Relentless Hunter. You want to go fast with Pantheon. You want to roam. You want to be able to go top, then mid lane, recall and open bot lane and help your laner, right? So you can go Swifties as boots. Then also I love to go Ionian boots. So let's say you don't need to roam that much because you have like a Draven. You have like a champion that maybe Jinx, right? Jinx Pantheon maybe is not the greatest, but you want to stay in lane more and you are winning. So I would go CDR boots because I'm not roaming that much. I want my flash, my ignite back up as soon as possible. I want that ability haste. Maybe, as we said in the runes, get the ability haste rune as well. Probably you are not getting that many auto attacks in. So CDR boots, also one of my favorites to go with Pantheon. And then you can go, these ones, the new ones, they are cheaper. You get the instant base recall. So let's say you roam top lane, you get a kill in top, and then you insta base, and you are able to make to roam bot lane again. If you are going to look for a lot of play base, then I would recommend you these boots. But Swifties and these ones are pretty good for Pantheon, and also the CDR ones. Then you can go Steel Caps, Tabbies, and Mercs, but they got pretty expensive, to be honest, for a support. So be careful when you choose them. Maybe enemy team has like a lot of CC and a lot of AP, then you get Mercs, or maybe they are full AD, then you get the Tabbies, right? The Steel Caps. So just be sure that you make sure that these two guys are worth it. These two boots are worth it to buy because they are pretty expensive. And you have 3 good options as well that are cheaper and also add a lot for Pantheon, right? So let's say we go Swifties, the standard one. Then for support item, you don't have to even think about it. You go Bloodsong 100% of the time. Maybe you go this one, Celestial Opposition, if you don't want to get one shot, but you have your E already for that, so don't worry about it. And now there are 2 different build paths that you can go, Lethality or more Bruiser build, okay? So as you guys can see, Umbral Glaive and Eclipse are going to be your Lethality items, right? Normally the game doesn't go that far that you can go for 4 or 5 items. Sometimes it does. So we are going to go for the 4th and 5th item in a bit. But you guys can see that 2,600 and 2,800 for Eclipse. And here down, the Bruiser build will be Thunder Sky, which is 500 more expensive than Umbral Glaive. That's going to be your first item. And then 200 more expensive Black Cleaver, right? So you are more tanky with the Bruiser build, but the Lethality build, what gives you, like let's say Umbral Glaive and Eclipse. Umbral Glaive is going to give you the first power spike of the game, and you are able to move around the map, getting rid of a lot of enemy vision, and you have Zombie Ward, so that's also like a plus. If you come here, get rid of the enemy vision, get some deep wards, the same in the river control, gives you a lot of control. and gives a lot of vision for your team. Okay, if you are going to go for a lethality bruiser build, then you are going Thunder Sky first and Black Cleaver. It's also pretty good, and you have a lot of HP, and you can make longer fights. You are like a second top laner almost, but you need to have some gold in your pockets to be able to buy this, and normally the game doesn't go that long for you. You also need to buy control wards, right? So let's say we go for the lethality build, and we are right now stuck in late game and we don't know what to buy. So there are different options here, and I would just say that do whatever you want, because there's not like a great answer. I can answer specific questions if you guys put it down in the comments. But for example, they have some healing, get the healing reduction, right? Maybe you can afford GA, then you can get a GA. What you can do with GA, for example, I will explain it right now, is that in a team fight, you should be able to be, I mean, you will be like later right now. So let's say you are team fighting, they are getting control over the dragon, and you don't, you have GA, so you can go into the backline, you let your team engage, right? You get some space for your team. Here you kite down, probably you will die, but you give access to the river to your team, and then you will have GA to come back into the fight, right? Maybe you can W, flash out. I mean, Pantheon late game fights is really squishy and gets one shot often, so you need to use your abilities. You need to be smart with how you use your abilities. You also can even go Black Cleaver in your lethality build, that's fine. You can even go Deadmans, you can go Sterax, you can do so many things, right? You can even go maybe Hex Drinker into Malmortius, that's also fine. There's so many options. The same goes with the Bruiser build. If you go the Bruiser build, which is Thunder Sky and Black Cleaver, then you have the option to go for a more tanky one. Maybe you go Sterax, maybe you want to go for Deadmans, maybe you want to go for some MR, right? You want to be more tanky, and you want to go for Abyssal, you want to go for maybe Solari, like you can do whatever you want. You are a super player, right? At the end of the day, build it as a bruiser, fully bruiser, and you can continue with, for example, what is it? Malmortius, as I said before, or you can even go the Death Dance if they're heavy AD damage. It depends. It depends a lot. Normally, when we are talking about support, we talk about the two first items, and then the third and the fourth item are very situational. So it's just you guys using your knowledge about items more than anything. Okay, like last time, I forgot a big part or an important part about the build, and it's the first base, okay? So the first base, let's go for, so you have your support item. Let's say you come with 800 gold, 1000 to 800 gold. It depends what you want to do, okay? So if your laning phase is a bit boring, you are not able to get some action in, I would always like look to prioritize tier 2 boots if you are able to one-shot the boots. Like say you have 1000 gold, then you go for boots. If you have time for space for a pink ward, you get a pink ward. But let's say you have 800 gold, which is also normal. You can go longsword, boots, and pink, and maybe a refillable if you have the money for refillable. That's also a good base, and maybe open towards top lane, and then, or mid lane, try to look for something in mid lane, roam with your jungler. But if you are winning hard bot lane, you have like a Draven, as I said, or you are going to play at 2v2s and you want the extra damage and you're going the lethality build, then I would go for short Serrated Dirk. Gives you lethality, gives you a lot of AD, gives a lot of all-in potential, so you want to go for that. And then you complete your boots, so you will complete your items, and maybe you sit on tier 1 boots for longer because you want to complete this, and then you want to do your boots because you are going to play mostly around the bot side area. Okay, so also if you recall and you are going for the Thunder Sky, then it just you want probably to get a tunneler, you get the longsword, HP, probably your boots as well, and then again you go for this one. You can also go for the Caulfield, you get AD and ability haste, it depends. More expensive build, but the main idea is in your first recall, if you're going to roam, prioritize getting tier 2 boots or tier 1 boots plus a longsword instead of for example, 2 long swords and no boots, because then you're going to be slower, obviously, because you have no boots. So maybe like get rid of a sword, get the tier 1 boots, get a pink ward, and let's start roaming the map. Of course, you will have sweeper, and you are able to make a bigger place in the map, right? The more action. Let's talk about Pantheon abilities and combos that he can make. So the ones that are important. First of all, the passive, how it works, you will get 5 stacks, and then you get the empowered ability once you have 5 stacks. So for example, Q does extra damage. The W, once you get it empowered, you will do 3 auto attacks really fast here, and it's perfect to get your Conqueror stacks as well. If you have PTA the same, it will proc the PTA. So here I would get like directly 8 stacks, 1 from W and then the 3 from the auto attack, so 8 in total. And then the E gives you move speed and armor and magic resist after the shield explosion. Remember that when you cast E, you can cast it back to do the damage really fast. And every ability gives you 1 stack. So W gives me 1 stack, Q gives me 1 stack, and the E gives me also 1 stack. All right. So that's mostly it for the ability rundown. Then if you have no stacks, for example here, when you ultimate, your spear will hit and slow the target, and you will pop up with 5 stacks, okay? So when you ult, you will get 5 stacks instantly, and also when you base, you are going to get 5 stacks also in base, okay? So here I'm going to base, and this was not this was not something that, well, this was a change, no, that they made. So now I have 5 stacks, so you come out of it with 5 stacks. So tips that you can do, for example, is when you get out of base, you use E and you move way faster towards lane. Sure, you don't have the stacks, but at least you get faster back to lane or go to mid lane or to top lane. You need to be careful, right? Because let's say I base again and I have 5 stacks, and I will get the CDR out, so you guys will see. So now I want to go back bot lane really fast, and I have ultimate. If I use my E, now it's on cooldown, and if I want to ult in the next couple of seconds, sure, I will get my 5 stacks back, but I'm going to play the fight without my E for 6 seconds, right? So you need to be careful when using E and you have ultimate. Sure, you are going to get back to lane faster, but you will not have the E in the first seconds of the fight, so just be mindful about that. All right, so combos that just simple things that you should know about Pantheon is if you press Q, you are going to tap, and let me get the CDR, and when you hold Q, you are going to have the spear throw. The CDR I will also show you here is that when you tap, it's like refounded a lot, so you have you go out of the bush, you tap, you go out of the bush, you tap, you go in the bush, you wait for the next one, and that's how you want to play laning phase most of the times. And I would not recommend to poke like this because the cooldown is much longer, especially level 1, level 2. It's double, right? It doesn't get refounded. So you want to tap most of the times. And now combos that you can do with Pantheon is that, or just cancel animation cancel with the W, is that when you W, you WQ, and you are getting the last auto attack of the W, right? So let me put the CDR again. The last auto attack of the W is going to get, you get your Q in and the auto attack at the same time. So I spam my Q and I get my last auto attack and my Q in, so it's more damage, okay? Well, you can W auto attack Q, so you can W auto attack Q when he's stunned, but you cannot do that when it's empowered W, right? So just so here, for example, W auto Q. So with 3 stacks you can do it as well. W auto Q when he's stunned. All right. And no much more. Something. Well, as always, if you want to do a fast W combo, you want to target W first. So let's say here with my champion, I'm sitting here. Obviously, I have no range for W. So I click on the champion, I press W, and my champion is going to run, and then W. So when I flash up, what I want to do is I press W and flash, and it goes instantly towards the target, okay? So, I mean, some people, a lot of you know that already, but some don't. So yeah, Also, level 6, you get 10% armor penetration, so you are also really strong in lane, especially if, for example, you have selected Dirk as first base, and then you get level 6 in lane, you will shred them, right? Because the passive of the ultimate gives you armor penetration, so also be aware of that. With the E, not much. Like, some people like to spam abilities. I really don't like to spam the abilities that much. For example, I stun, Q, and here I will keep auto-attacking, and maybe I will look for a E and do the damage, or so always like auto-attack, Q when you can. That's a lot of damage, okay? So let's go into some in-game examples, and we can see all of this. So as I mentioned before, I love to start with Pantheon with Q, level 1, because you want to kind of poke, but I always try to look for invades and be active level 1 on the map. So when you get sweeper and you find someone in the jungle, I go level 1 W, and then we kill, okay? If you can get a free kill level 1, then you take it. I sweep here around, trying to see if there's a couple wards. So now let's skip into a laning phase with Ziggs, which is a mage, and you guys will see that it's a bit different than playing with an actual AD carry. But I need to be kind of patient. I really cannot queue here because Mincena and Erreal have the range advantage, and it's going to be a rough laning phase for me because I'm not able to control the bushes with the Pantheon, and that's what I want to do. I look for short trades, but again, Ziggs is not really good at long extended trades because he's a mage, so he has a couple abilities to use. So right now they are going to crash second wave, and here they are going to try to poke us in under tower. I'm going to try to get some CS for Ziggs, but I get hit by W. There we go. I will pop the potion already because I want to stay healthy in a couple of seconds most likely. And here I'm moving just to defend the camps from Kha'Zix. I know that Erreal went really deep to look for a ward, or he was kind of looking for a deep ward, but he ended up warding only the Tribush. So I don't get it with the sweeper. I thought his blue was warded or the ground was warded. And here, as you can see, I'm pinging Ziggs that I want to go in. Here it is. W first, then I use my long Q because I still have a potion. I'm going to regen, and I'm not going to tap Qs this lane. So this is a kind of an exception where you can use your long Q to get some damage in. And now I know that Erreal is on lethal. Right now I'm like standing behind Ziggs, but I'm ready to flash in and look for the kill. And here I go, fast combo. I cancel my W last auto with the Q, and here Ziggs saves my ass. He does a really good W, and I'm just playing back, waiting if I can use the tap like a long Q, throw my spear. It doesn't kill the Senna, but Kha'Zix is going to get the kill. And now I know that I'm level 3, so I can buy a lot of time with my E. I'm trying to get a bit of my passive up with the auto attacks on the minions. Tap Q, go in, use my E so he cannot kill me. And now I just ignite him and finish the kill off, right? So good things about this laning phase is that just fundamentals about how Pantheon combos work. W flash, cancel my last auto attack of the empowered W with the Q, and look for a kill. And here, as you guys can see, I take refillable because it's going to be a hard lane to play. I don't take the ping ward because I don't have the gold for it. I take 2 longswords for more damage, and boots because I can roam because it's 6, right, in bot lane. So I will look to roam more and be present with the Kha'Zix, with the Darius, help the Zeri out with vision as well. That's what I'm going to do this laning phase. Here with another example. This time I'm playing with Jhin. So another good AD carry to go with Pantheon because it gives me the possibility to roam a lot more. And again, I do the same invade. I go through mid lane, bot lane bush. I go over. I explained it a lot. They don't see you when you do this. And here I use my sweeper, or we end up camping this bush, and Draven comes late, and we get a free kill, which is pretty good for us. And now that is sit in this bush and wait for Draven to respawn, right? So again, when you have a strong AD carry that can skirmish early on or level 1, he's pretty strong, like let's say Ashe, maybe Jhin is also fine, right? He has the Q and the last auto attack that hurts a lot. So here I will start with auto attack to get my Empire W. Already I have quite some stacks of Conqueror. I already have my Conqueror activated. And we just go poke a bit the Draven out, and we will keep fighting. I auto attack first, get my empower W again, waiting for my W. Now Annie is going to end up dying because Jhin flashes. And I step up, don't let the Draven kill my Jhin. And now we are in a really good laning phase position. And I'm pinging that I want to go in, I have still flash, so I can do something. I use my potion also to be healthy and full HP. And let's see if we can get something out of it, right? I'm getting my Q. Now, I'm not using my Q already to poke. A lot of you guys will just charge the Q and try to poke. It doesn't do that much damage. I'm not going to accomplish anything. So now what I'm going to look for is I'm going to meet with my Lilia. I'm going to sweep to the Pixel and this Tribus, and I'm just going to stay around because I cannot really do anything if I pause. So here Annie face checks and she dies, and now what we are going to look for is to dive the Draven, because he needs to lose this next cannon wave, and if he loses this next cannon wave, he's going to be out of position. Here you guys see that I use my Q to tap. It's a big range actually, and I will use my auto attacks on the tower, so I get my passive. Now I force tags, he's on my combo range, I flash on him, W, and then empower Q, finish it off. And I use my E to push the lane as well, right? So this is also an example on how to play the laning phase with Pantheon. We are going to go for the mid game or the roaming later on, but I want you guys to show you another one before. Nothing happens here. Yeah, nothing happens. We use recall and we base. And again, 2 longswords and boots because I want to roam. This time around, I don't get the refillable. Okay, this time around, I get a control wall because I don't really need the refillable against Draven Annie because they are not going to poke me out of the laning phase. And I prefer to have like a control ward so Lilia can keep playing around us. And I can use to fog and go into other lanes to impact the game. So here nothing happens, level 1, we don't get any kills. So it's just going to be laning phase with Q start. So as you guys can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around this bush. So I'm going to pause the game and explain it. I'm going to play around this bush and I'm going to try to Q tap every time I can, the Kai'Sa and the Zilean. I'm not going to charge the Q or anything. I'm just going to try to spam my Qs and get some damage in. I missed the first 2, but I mean the cooldown is really low. So I go back in, hit the ward, tap with the Q, wait to get the ward again. Now I go out again and I'm getting both of them with my Qs. I'm getting both of them with my Qs. It's a bit of damage, but it stacks up. I get already my 4 Conqueror stacks. We are getting level 2. And Erreal plays really well here because he's going to jump in, go into the Zilean, and I'm going to follow really fast. Could be faster, but I follow with the Ignite, WQ, and the Zilean is already dead. Okay, so very important that you guys start tapping with the Q, tap with the Q. Don't be afraid to play with the bushes. Here again, I know that I need to roam, for example. I'm not scared to trade my HP because we need to crash it, right? The Real got the kill, so I want him to base, crash 3rd wave, so he's able to just go back to the base. I also make sure that I can roam. Here, this time around, I use my long Q because I have no range to get to Viego. And now we start the game with favorable bot lane kills, right? And Viego also died in mid lane. So now let's talk about how to impact the map as Pantheon support. So this laning phase is very boring. Like, I'm not able to get anything done because they are playing really safe. We are just pushing the waves, trying to poke them out, but they are staying under tower and we will not be able to dive them. My top laner is suffering right now. As you guys can see, we are 3 and 6. I have 2 of my 3 kills in my team. So now I decide to move when my wave crashes in bot lane. I will move to mid lane and try to impact mid lane and help my Talon out because my Talon is also suffering. So I look for a gank. Nothing will happen, but I will just help Talon to push this wave and I will look for a recall, okay? So also I'm looking to get my level 6 as soon as possible so I can start impacting the map. So here I recall and I say, let's go and play for top lane. My Varus is crying, he says the game is over, he cannot play. So I know Erreal is fine alone because it's Zilean Kai'Sa, so he's not going to get engaged on. So I'm just going to go with Varus, sweep here to get rid of this vision if Nidalee has vision. she's going to push the wave, she's going to go aggressive into Varus, and I'm here already to help. As you guys can see, I took the Swifty's boot to roam faster, and here I try to give him the kill. He gets the kill, and now again I'm giving some vision for him. I base, and instead of going bot lane again, I open towards mid and help my teammates out. So RL was able to play the laning phase alone, 1v2. Most of the AD carries nowadays can do it. Jhin, RL, Zeri is also able to do it in some situations. You just need to make sure that you know when. So here I get the level 6, which is really important for me to start impacting the map. Maybe an ultimate mid lane, ultimate top lane. That's what I'm looking for again. So I can stop the bleeding in top. And here I see that my friend Zilean, who is not even level 6, is trying to freeze. So again, W flash, we Q and we kill him. And now after this, I'm just going to ult top and try to get the kill. So sometimes your ultimate, you kind of want to hit the spear, but here I go too far away and it lands in Africa, in Narnia. So it is what it is, but we still end up getting the kill onto Nidalee. Varus needs to burn the flash, but Nidalee already died 2 times in less than 2 minutes. So again, I drop a ward for my Varus, and now I base, and I will open bot lane and help my Ezreal out. So this is how you impact the map with Pantheon. The game was looking pretty bad. If I stay bot lane, I'm not able to do anything in bot, so I'm just moving around the map and impacting other lanes. We go back to this game that we saw the laning face off, like with the Jhin against Annie Draven. So Annie got a good roam in mid lane. That was my bad. So I'm trying to do as best as possible to zone Draven off. Draven does well because he's hugging the wall, so I'm not able to engage properly. And he also used this E to cancel my W, which was really good from him. And here we are not able to dive, but we are still bullying the Draven out, right? So we will keep pushing, pressuring, but again, it's not easy for Pantheon to get some action here when you are winning. So I use my E to defensively. I get my pink ward to control this bush because it's really important for us to keep being aggressive. And I'm going to play around it with Jhin also following up with W. I back off, but I want to keep this ping alive. I don't want the control ward to die. So Lilia is also going to play around it. And as you guys can see, I'm not playing in lane. I'm playing around the jungle camp, bot lane at the same time. So here, if I pause the game real quick, I'm at the same time ready to help and play with Lilia here. And I'm also ready to move bot lane and play with Jhin, right? So, and the most important thing, I'm going to go back now, is that by using this control word, I'm in fog, so they don't know where I am, right? I could be mid lane going, I could go in his jungle. I'm really fast at helping Jhin out as well if he needs my help. So this is very important that you guys play with the vision. And here I'm just going in, looking a bit at Briar in the eyes and saying I'm here. Force Annie to move as well. Just force them to make decisions, right? Put the pressure into them. So if you are winning your lane, you don't need to be in lane poking all the time, being all the time there, because you are not accomplishing anything, because Pantheon is not a range champion that can get play things. It's not like so tanky that you can dive all the time. So make yourself useful moving around. So here I engage on Annie, I use my E to buy a lot of time, and even if I die, I create a situation where they need to fight me, they need to get like I have my backup, like my AD carry and my jungler are there to fight, and even if I died, now they will be able to dive the Briar, kill the Draven. Now Draven loses a lot of wave, he loses a lot of plating. So yeah, this is a bit of laning phase, but you guys need to understand that with Pantheon, you need to be creative. It's like a bit of Pyke. You don't need to be showing all the time in the laning phase, right? With Pyke, at least you have a hook, but with Pantheon, no. So play with that vision, play with those control words, and now this gives me the opportunity to roam, right? So I get tier 1 boots, Serrated Dirk already, I'm going lethality build. So I'm going to roam towards top lane, nothing is going to happen in top lane. So I say, okay, let me go to mid lane, and I will look for something in mid lane, right? When you roam to mid lane, if you do it from top side, it's like so good. It's like the efficiency rate goes up, right? It's so much more percentage of successful, because normally they don't expect the support to come from top side, they always expect the support to come from bot side. So it's really nice that if you come from top side river, he will not expect it. Champions target only, I go onto the Z, get the move speed with my empowered E, he flashes and he ends up dying because I tap with my Q, so I have my Q every 3 seconds, so that's really, really nice. I don't remember exactly what else happens here. Let's see. I just keep roaming bot lane. Now we kill the Draven, and here we are already really ahead in the game. Try to get some vision in. And let's see how I use my ultimate, right? I again move towards mid lane. My AD carry is totally fine. I get my ulti, I base, and now here, this is the beautiful thing about Pantheon, is that your AD carry was alone, but now I'm able to ulti bot if he needs me. Draven respects, so I'm not able to ulti bot lane, but I'm getting rid of vision, and I'm going to drop some vision for Jhin, so he can play his game, while I'm going to roam with the team, avoiding Z to get platings in mid lane, being annoying for enemy team, like I'm not going to let you get anything out of here, and again playing with my top laner and my jungler, right? Jungle is really strong. My Jhin kills 1v1 in bot lane, and now I'm forcing them to fight. The Annie to answer me all the time, and she really doesn't want to answer. And here we end up getting a couple of kills, and the game is totally over. We are 27, bot lane is over, jungle is over, top lane is ahead, mid lane is ahead, and we will end up winning this game really comfortably. And here I get Amber Glaive, and now the snowball begins because enemy team will have no chance of getting vision. And because we are so ahead, I'm not getting Swifties because I want the CDR, and I just want to keep having that ultimate up, my spells up, and I don't really need that move speed. So CDR is also really good to snowball. CDR boots, I really liked it. And yeah, this is also like an example on how to roam and how to utilize Pantheon in laning phase and impacting the map before minute 14. So again, another example on a bit of super fundamentals also, that my MF died, I get 1 kill, but MF died in the laning phase. Here we end up crashing this 4th wave under the tower. And now I'm unable to do anything in bot lane because I'm not going to hit the tower, so I'm going to make myself useful. I know my mid laner is winning his matchup, so I'm going to roam towards mid lane and look if I can dive the Sylas or be useful for LeBlanc, right? I'm going to wait for her to push the wave in. MF dies for no reason at all because she was in a really good spot. It's a bit tilting sometimes as super when you roam, but it's the reality of things is that at the end of the day, your AD carries sometimes they are going to make mistakes and they are going to overextend. He didn't need to stay in bot lane hitting tower because we didn't have great vision for it. And I prefer to like look to get LeBlanc ahead on the Sylas matchup. Again, so what am I going to do? I have a lot of gold, I just wait for MF. We are going to push the next wave, crash it. And again, I'm going to look to impact the mid lane. My MF dies the similar way than before. So again, right now it looks like my AD carry doesn't want to play the game, doesn't want to respect anything. I think she was filled or not, but it is what it is. I'm going to lose 1 wave of experience, but I'm trying to make an impact in the game. So I'm going to go behind and dive the mid laner. I have ignite, so here we go. I ignited the Sylas, we end up killing Sylas. I kill Sylas and LeBlanc kills Viego. I could have played it mechanically better. Probably I would have survived if I just back off, clicked a bit to the left and used my E better. But Sylas is losing so much wave in mid lane and I'm giving an advantage to my LeBlanc, okay? So at the end of the day, what ends up happening in this game is that in bot lane, we are not going to be able to do much. I even get hooked and killed because when you don't have E, you need to be really careful because you are very, very vulnerable. Thresh played pretty well this game. Also, not gonna lie. And what I'm going to try to do is, like here, for example, I had my E, the move speed, so I was able to buy a lot of time. And again, they went really deep, so we get a lot of kills for Amumu and a Misfortune. So they get back into the game, and also LeBlanc gets another kill, okay? So again, I don't need to be bot lane, and when I don't need to be bot lane, for example, here, you guys can see that MF crashed the wave. So now I'm able to roam, and again, I'm coming to gank from top side river as a support, and we end up getting the kill onto Sylas. No, almost we get the kill, but he's really low. He's trying to get the wave, but again, he's getting probably dove by me and LeBlanc. And here again we play between two towers. Don't be scared to play in between two towers. I think it's okay. LeBlanc gets the kill, and the Sylas ends up losing like quite some minions, and also LeBlanc gets a couple of platings. Okay, so again, I'm not touching bot lane. MF is also a champion that should be fine in bot lane alone. And what I do again, I go into Sylas. I have Ignite this time around. He wanted to push the wave, and again I come from topside river as a support, and it's a free kill. I got level 6. Now I have level 6. I'm able to impact them up again, and I'm bot lane now. So I was mid lane, now I'm bot. Viego matches, so I need to be careful. Already I have my item, and here we are totally fine. Maybe Viego was not there, we can get a couple of kills, but you guys see how it works, right? The dynamic of ganking one lane, getting my level 6, impacting my bot lane again, and recovering my bot side, okay? So this is one of the fundamentals of Pantheon, right? And his biggest strength, right? You can impact bot lane, be so creative with your moves, and look on how to play it. So yeah, just here, for example, I end up getting hooked, which is not great. I should have played better mechanically, but my team ends up getting a couple of kills, and then we get out. Again, I'm not touching bot lane at all. I'm going for mid. And again, another gank onto Sylas. Camping mid laners or top laners or any lane in solo queue works very good, because it allows you to tilt them and also your team to snowball, and just choose smart which lanes you are going to do it, because LeBlanc is able to snowball her lead and be useful in the game. So I don't camp an Ornn, I don't camp a Sion, right? Maybe I would camp a tank if I get free kills and I get fed myself. But here I'm really interested on LeBlanc getting fed. And I already have the Umbral Glaive, so I'm one-shotting vision. I'm getting rid of enemy vision. I'm giving also control for my mid laner to play around. So my mid laner has vision. All right? Perfect. How to play Pantheon in mid-game, okay? So how to play Pantheon support in mid-game. What you want to do normally is or attack side lane or play in mid lane and ulti mid lane people that are out of position. You can do it in mid lane or in side lane. It depends on the champions and the situation in game. And for example, here we are in a winning position. They don't have mid lane towers. So I'm going to use my ultimate aggressively to get some kills in the AD carry that normally is overextended, and here we can get some vision control over topside, and we will get the Nashor and keep snowballing the game. Let's look at some examples when your team is doing an objective. You want to be ready to see where you want to turn. Like here, for example, I know that enemy team has a Z, so he wants to split push. So I'm ready to trap in the bush. I'm not hitting the objective. So as a support, you rarely want to hit the objective yourself. So Zed was pretty strong this game. It was not an easy game to play, but just be smart about where you need to sit and where you need to trap as Pantheon, and be able to ping your team like, look, here we turn, here we are going to play. And in my next opening, I'm just going to play side lane with my team. Nar is really strong, so he gets a really good ultimate as well, and we end up killing them all, and we are going to get ahead in the game. And skirmishing here, Pantheon loves to do this, right? These skirmishes. So now, once this happens, I'm going to help Lilia with the Herald, because when you do Herald as 2, it goes faster. And what's going to happen now is that I reset, but I see Herald wants to go topside, and I also know that most likely Z is going to go for a Real, right? So instead of being, I will pause the game now. So instead of, if you guys look at the minimap, instead of me being in mid lane all the time, like here, because a lot of supers want to do this, I want to play around this side of the map and help my side laner, in this case Erral, to play the game, because I know that Zed wants to go aggressive on him. So I'm ready to fight. Even if I've ultimate up, I'm not going to use my ultimate to go topside here. I'm just going to impact directly. And now Erral is going to be able to push a couple of waves. I'm able to base and maybe help again with my ultimate to my team. But here I'm not going to ultimate because they are 4, Erral is pushing, so I'm just making time so Erral can get the top tower. It's a lot of gold for him, and now Erral is really fed. So also you need to have patience while playing Pantheon. Now again, they are attacking side lane really fast, and I'm just going to ult. Nar go TPs as well, and now we are 3 in the side lane, and we bring in the fight to the side lane. I'm getting the kill. Here we keep going. It ends up not going too well for us, but some mistakes happen. But in general, this game, what I want to do is this again. I want to attack side lane. I want to kill the Z again. Kai'Sa was not patient enough to wait for me, for me to help her. So she died 1v1 to Z, but I get the kill. And now we just roam and play towards the dragon. And again, in the dragon, I look to have a position where I can turn and I can help my team. Here Nar engages, and I'm just going to play with my team the fights. You see that I'm playing slow. I'm not just running around taking free damage. I'm waiting for my spells to come back up. And here I'm sitting on the banana bush. So again, you don't see me hitting the objective at all. So I'm not hitting. I'm sitting here knowing that Zed will come, and then I can jump on him and poke him out, or at least get out of the bush and zone him out, so my team can end up doing the objective. Okay, so that's very important for you guys to understand, because you are not dealing too much damage to the dragon. I mean, sure, you can spam Qs, but it's not like going to be the best thing to do in mid game. So here again, use your ultimate proactively to look for plays. I wanted to base, but well, my team wanted to keep playing, so I'm kind of a bit forced to play here. And at the end of the day, what ends up happening is that we keep splitting. Nar plays really well, so I'm playing with Nar, and it's just making sure that you follow your team. You are getting deep vision in the game and getting a couple of kills, right? So we end up finishing this game off really soon. Let's see. So here I get a beautiful ultimate, guys, like a beautiful ultimate. So what you want to do always is trying to ulti behind their backs. And here I get a double ultimate spear. We get the Z, and after getting the Z, I end up getting a brand as well. Every time in enemy jungle, getting the deep vision, as you guys can see in the top side. And now we will end up winning the game with the Nashor. And what am I doing? I'm attacking silent again. The third time or fourth time already. I lost the count. That Z dies in silent by me collapsing on him. So here Nar also MVP from this game. I believe, like, I rarely honor my teammates, but Nar did get my honor for sure. He deserved it. He deserved it for sure. And here we will end up winning the game, right? So make sure that you are proactive in side lanes. You are able to use your ultimates to get behind the enemy back. Why? Because then you can kite as well and create some chaos in the fights. And you are also able to do a lot of damage against a lot of champions, especially squishy champions, and one-shot them. And buy a lot of times for your team to come and finish the job. So here, this was a really good game. So yeah, this is an example on how to close games with Pantheon in mid-game. All right, this one is a bonus one, okay? Like late game fighting with Pantheon. Some situations you need to be creative with Pantheon. You have a lot of tools to be. So here we are, let me pause for a second. At minute 30 already, the game is really close. It's going to be 5v5 into the next dragon, but my champion is really squishy. It's not that useful anymore. So I need to be creative on how can I be useful for my team to play the game, right? So this is, you cannot do this every time, but there's some situations where you can. So here I would decide to engage with my ultimate behind them. So I see that they are all here, and I just decide to go for my ultimate, right? The 5 team members of enemy team are here, so I'm going to ult right now on top of them or behind them. And now what I'm going to create with this is that with this ultimate, they are going to, I will pull them to me, which means that now Olaf has access, LeBlanc has access to the flank, and my team can push forward, right? Because if I don't ultimate, they don't feel the pressure to come towards me, and then the game is going to stay around here and they will have control. So I'm just splitting the fight and making sure that I'm going to be able to give my team access to the team fight, all right? So I always have my empowered E when I land to kite towards the bush, get some vision, and survive the time that I need to, and maybe use a W and a Q. So let's see how that goes. So here I ultimate, now they see the ultimate coming, I give vision to everyone, and Rel engages on me, which is already like really good for the game, because she's engaging on me and she's not engaging on anyone else, and we end up winning the fight by a stomp, right? It was a close game, and it ends up being like easy team fight for us because the enemy team doesn't have like comms, so it's pretty chaotic game for them chaotic fight for them to handle, and my team played really well the fight, and they just went forward and killed everyone. All right, so conclusions about Pantheon. We end up winning the game here. Aurora can, even if she's broken, she cannot do anything to stop the win. So final thoughts about Pantheon. He's a great champion to play. In the super role, it's true that it's a bit of meta. He has great roaming potential, strong laning phase, good ultimate to roam the map and impact other lanes. I would recommend you guys to try him out if you like this type of champions to play. In the super role, there's a lot of more you can ask me. Probably I'm going to do some other guys about other off-meta champions, but Pantheon for me is one of the most fun champions to play around in the super role, and I love him. He's one of my favorite champions, so I wanted to make this guide. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe, write to me a comment ask me anything about this guide, and you can also suggest me what champions should we do next, what you guys want to see. You guys can follow me on the Discord, as I said, join the Discord server. Yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.